overreacting to the situation. I was one of the few people last year who's like, don't trade Garrett Wilson or don't trade him for scraps. Because as soon as Rodgers got hurt, some people were like, trade Wilson for anybody, that you can get. And I'm like, he'll still be fine in PPR in the flex. His ceiling is just low.
He was not fine. He was
fine.
It was painful. It was just painful week in and week out, just having
Well,
to play
it
him.
it was sad to see his ceiling lowered, but he still hit double digits every week except for 6 weeks, not including week 18. So, I mean, the ceiling was way lower. But it was like next week at Dallas, he came out and had that. I mean, he only had 2 catches.
Yeah.
He still had 16 fantasy points. He had that huge touchdown. So, and this was like, people are like, trade him for anybody. And people were saying to trade Breece Hall last year too.
No.
And I was like, no, don't, So I think we just kind of sit back for the moment is my advice. But if you're getting the right offer, I mean, the right offer, you always got to take. George is hype. I have Saquon and Gibbs. This probably feels good right now. CMC says he's playing week 1. Thank you, sweet Jesus. Yeah, we've had some scary moments with CMC coming up on the injury report officially, and then we'll just have to see what he's going to play. Has always been my state of mind. And in terms of other news from the day outside of the games, we do have T. Higgins popping up. I think I cursed T. Higgins.
Of course, I have T. Higgins in the league. I'm playing you in. Of course, this is not fair. I saw this. I was like, John, curse this. I knew it.
Yeah, I put him in the video for today. I put him on the thumbnail, and next thing I know, someone commented and they were like, I would trade Higgins for a club sandwich right now. And I'm like, yeah, this is my fault. I did this. So this is the T. Higgins experience. Get used to it if you haven't drafted him before in fantasy. All right, David asking him if he's going to be fine. He's got Kyler, JT, Kenneth, Hill, Marvin, Jaden Daniels versus Love, Pacheco, Monty, Brown, Diggs, Kittle, Flex. Projected 119. He's at 125. Can I win? Yes, you can absolutely still win. We're looking at a 6-point difference, and it's just projections. Always tell you guys, like after Thursday night matchups where there's a lot of points, like the Seahawks Cowboys game last year, people are coming in like, oh, I faced DK Metcalf or CeeDee Lamb this week. Like, can I win? It's like, yes, of course you can still win. And projections mean absolutely nothing. So your roster's still loaded with talent here. Obviously going up at what feels like a little bit of a disadvantage with, Pacheco having a great game, Brown having a great game, obviously, and Love still having a good game with about 18 fantasy points, 17 depending on your scoring format. But still a good matchup here, both teams. But yeah, you can absolutely still win. Albert, what's going on? Shane, good game. You had 2 great games to start the season. I have to see you on Reed if Loves ain't playing. Yeah, I know. Yeah. All right. Brian Thomas or Jacoby. I'll probably go B Tom. I like that matchup. Dolphins Jaguars is one of the matchups I have just starred this week. So I think Jacoby Myers okay. They're looking at 2 wide receiver 2s here, but I would I'll lean Brian Thomas. That's like my matchup of the week. Also like the Rams Lions a lot. You also had Andrews in your matchup. Yeah, I mean, there's so many players left here, so many possibilities. I don't even really look at projections or matchups until Sunday night. It's like, I mean, look at the Packers-Eagles game, for example. Like, the offenses weren't really moving in the first quarter. I mean, we didn't have any touchdowns in the first quarter, right? So, just there's no point. Like, so much can happen in the third and fourth quarter, second quarter. Like, so many games are going to be played Sunday, until Sunday night rolls around and you're like at halftime. That's usually when I'll look at like matchups. Sometimes I don't even look at matchups until Monday night. So yeah, you got time.
Never a doubt with these offenses tonight. Never a doubt.
I mean, there's just, you see so many wild things happen. Like, you might be projected 116 and your opponent's projected 125 going into Monday night, and he has Brandon Ayuk, and you're like, you're up by 2, and you're like, I'm screwed. And then Sauce Gardner shuts down Brandon Ayuk. When he has
That's why I'm sitting Brandon Ayuk. This is good.
three,
This is perfect.
yeah,
Brees Hall goes crazy. Yeah.
or the opposite. You might need 40 points, and you only have Deebo Samuel, and you're like, I lost, and then Deebo has 3 touchdowns. I mean, this is why you play fantasy football. This is why it's fun, So don't freak out too much. Love better be all right. I'll drop his ass in a heartbeat. I mean, yeah. I mean, poor Jordan Love, but this is not a good situation for fantasy managers. I just don't like if this is a season-ending injury. That's some weird like Aaron Rodgers got a voodoo doll or something. Like
Good. Yeah, I love it. I love it. This is awesome. I was super pumped. That's what he gets. Really, just go down. Game's over. Just take the loss, Jordan. No, I have to do this crazy thing. Flip to Josh Jacobs. Good. Don't. This is what really, you get. Your evil fan base is what happens.
Really will switch up that division too.
Not last place. Third place. Yeah, third place.
It's gonna be really interesting. Start Burrow or chance it with Caleb. I think beginning of the week I'd say Burrow for sure, but is Higgins gonna play? Is Chase gonna play? I mean, I'm worried. I went into this week like I'm starting the Bengals everywhere, everybody. I don't really know. I don't expect Burrow to have a bad game, even if both those guys don't play still, but I don't feel as good. So I would just kind of sit back for now. If we get word that Chase and Higgins play or one or the other, I probably still start Burrow. But like I said earlier in the stream, I think Caleb Williams, nice upside this week. I don't expect like a super high ceiling, but I like Caleb to be a solid start this week. So I don't know about the Bengals right now. They're kind of freaking me out.
Yeah, I think I'm off them in the death pool. I might be switching my pick. I kind of want to pick the Giants just on principle. So either way, I'm okay. If the Vikings win, I'll be happy. If we lose, I'll be like, whatever. But yeah, Bengals scare me. I like Chase Brown. Chase Brown might be a really interesting play this week, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need more receiving work out of the backfield. So I think you're right. But I might go Caleb here. Never had it so good. Bummed about Higgins. Looked like a smash. Replace him. I'd start Godwin here for sure. Not even close.
Safe. He's true number Barkley's 2.
Bit me in the past. Higgins taking his turn. I mean, you just got to get the Higgins injury out early this year, I guess, is what the Bengals want to do. I'm super bummed. I was really high on Higgins this week and starting to really like him, into the draft season as ADP. But yeah, Godwin against Washington secondary, must start player. So you at least have a great option. Love still sat with his team on the bench. He doesn't go in the tenor locker room or anything. I didn't even see that. I mean, honestly, from a fantasy football perspective, we don't want anyone getting hurt. So we'll see what happens. Do you like Marshawn Lawrence to pick up? I didn't think Jacob looked very good on several drives. Yeah, I mean, he definitely looked a little bit stale. But he still had over 5 yards per carry, which is not bad by any stretch. So we know that the Eagles, although this secondary once again just looks like hot garbage, but they have depth up front. Go ahead.
There was okay. Like Quinion Mitchell, I think looked really good. 27, their rookie corner out of Toledo, but multiple plays. I mean, like there were guys running wide open, and it was like, what are we doing, Philly? What is going? Like, come on. I agree. It's very sus at like 3 of the 4 positions back there.
But we know that they have depth up front, right? I mean,
front 7 looked really good.
The fact that he still had 5.2 yards per carry, I'm okay with. I mean, he's never done that in a full season. I mean, when he had that RB3 years, 4.86 yards per carry, which is just one game. So, but that might give you a little bit perspective. 10 yards per catch. Fumble's not good. I do agree. He looked dry, but I also do think I don't know. I think this Brazil game is a really weird place for these players to start week 1.
The field was awful. Awful field.
Yeah. I'm not totally surprised that someone got hurt here, but I will say Emmanuel Wilson on his 4 touches looked good. 11.5 yards per carry, 46 yards. He had 3 targets, 2 receptions as well. So that's kind of what makes me a little bit nervous about Marshawn Lloyd, because I do think Lloyd is more talented, but Emmanuel Wilson showed that he can fill in nicely. So it's kind of a weird handcuff situation, but I still think Jacobs is the guy for sure. Like, I think you're really looking for a Jacobs injury. So I mean, I just don't know. Marshawn Lloyd's going to be the true handcuff is kind of the issue. I mean, if you're thin enough at running back, then it's fine, but that's about where I'm at. All right, let's see. Kels, what's going on? Ghost Hunter already seeing Eagles fans cheering that he went down. It didn't even really
Who would
were they
ever
even going to win the game? Like,
who would ever do that? Who would ever cheer a player getting hurt on an opposing
yeah,
team? Couldn't
yeah,
imagine.
yeah. We'll edit that part of the stream out. Uh, Aaron Reborn, what's up, man? Long time no see. Good to have you in the house as always, man. Welcome to the 2024 season. Philly got my Dirty Birds next week. We got a little bird matchup next week.
So the Falcons
All right.
0-2? Question mark.
Ooh.
Just no 0-2.
Oh, that's a good pivot point here. Justin Fields expected to start for the Steelers on Sunday. Russell, dangerous, Wilson, on the injury report, and is now not expected to play. I mean, I don't think this is like a crazy impact. But it is an impact nonetheless.
His career is over unless Justin Fields
Yeah.
is the worst quarterback in the history of quarterbacks.
Which I don't know.
Could happen. This
And
this is definitely on the table.
I will say there's kind of conflicting reports here. Some people or some reports just saying that Russell Wilson's questionable.
That's what
And
I
then some,
saw.
yeah, then some saying he's not expected to play, and Justin Fields is expected to play. So, this is gonna be really interesting because I think this is gonna come down to like the wire. I think that's a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be like a game time decision. So, and I think you're right. Like Russ has got to try and play and be out there, or else his career could definitely be over. So I mean, this doesn't have a huge impact. I think for me, like I think it's, you're probably only starting the Steelers running backs Pickens or Fryermuth, and like you weren't expecting a super high ceiling because Russell Wilson's playing anyway. So I would actually, kudos to Russ. I think he got done dirty last year, but I'd like to see Justin Fields play. Just, I think I don't know. We'll see.
It's a little better for fantasy.
Yeah. Chase is not going to lie. I may have been sleeping on Barkley. I tried.
I mean, I got Saquon. I have every Eagles share. I have Jake Elliott. I have Devontae Smith. I have AJ Brown. I have Saquon Barkley. I don't have Jalen Hurts, who was easily the worst Eagles player tonight from a fantasy standpoint.
And still had 21 fantasy points.
Yeah, and he looked terrible. Terrible. He looked.
Looked a little frozen a couple times towards the goal line, but
that last interception
some
was
wild
like
picks. Yeah,
yeah, that last interception was like, yo, come on.
Yeah. Would you start Atlanta's defense over the Steelers? Absolutely. Yeah, I like the Falcons defense way more. They've had some good offseason moves. They weren't an awful defense last year. They're at home, and then you're either getting Russ or Fields out there, so you can expect a turnover, either way. And yeah, I just think they're in a good. I think the Falcons going to have a good. I went into this matchup initially a little bit more neutral, but I really think this point in the week, I think the Falcons going to have a good day, both sides of the ball. Henry and Love didn't give me the fantasy or the start to fantasy I was looking for, but I won't panic, especially not on Henry. Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love is still fine. Like, depends on your scoring format, but 17, 18 fantasy points is still perfectly fine out of a quarterback. I mean, CJ Stroud averaged 18 fantasy points a game last year, Um, but with Derrick Henry, and we can kind of talk about some of the Ravens Chiefs stuff. Um, I'm not gonna panic on Henry. I think the biggest takeaway and the thing that a lot of people like didn't take into consideration going into this matchup was that the Chiefs defense is a really good defense and a really well coached defense. And people are kind of treating them like they're not, and that the Ravens defense was which the Ravens defense still great last year, but so last year the Chiefs were top 10 against opposing running backs in fantasy football. They were top 2 against opposing wide receivers in fantasy football. In terms, I don't have what they were against tight ends right in front of me, or quarterbacks, unfortunately, but I'm sure that those marks weren't bad either. But really, I mean, we're primarily looking at wide receivers and running backs anyways. And like I said, number 5 against wide receivers last year, number 9 against running backs. So I don't think a lot of people really were, considering that the Chiefs might have a good defensive day. But in terms of this game, yeah, I'm not gonna panic on Derrick Henry either. I'm not really allowed to, it's like one of my most drafted players, but Justice Hill definitely getting the receiving work here. And then, I mean, we do have Keaton Mitchell potentially coming back at some point too. But I just don't know if, and Justice Hill, I mean, one of my most drafted running backs in underdog, one of my favorite handcuffs. And, the coaches talked about that early in the offseason. Like, Justice Hill is basically going to be a starter this year. But, um, I don't know if he's going to see that passing volume every game. He had 8 targets. Um, so it's just, and I don't know if Lamar Jackson's going to rush for over 120 yards every single game, but both those things are very doable. So, um, I'm just not going to panic on Derrick Henry. The positive thing was he saw like all the goal line work, which is really the thesis on Derrick Henry this year. Like he's going to rush for touchdowns. So still had double digit fantasy points, but yeah, the ceiling we might want to maybe be concerned about. But
It just looked really awkward in that offense
it
to
it
Henry.
it did. And like, yeah, if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson, like this game may have been a blowout. But Lamar Jackson, the MVP caliber performance in this game.
Except for the last
Just
throw, 2 second to last throw of the
sure,
game. Yeah, right?
sure.
Like,
Why does Lamar do that? Why does he freeze? Like, I mean, I'm like
because I heard a
that
great
that
comparison this morning on ESPN. Like, I shouldn't be watching. I saw the clip. I don't watch ESPN. Don't put that on me. Ryan Clark was like, he's Russell Westbrook. Like, he does all the flashy stuff, but in like the big moments, he gets the pressure, just kind of gets to him. He makes bad decisions, turns the ball over. Where Patrick Mahomes is the opposite. He's not necessarily super flashy all the time, but when it's the end of the game, he is lights out.
yeah, that I mean, he was kind of on the move, but the throw to
He missed the wrong direction. Like, I thought like it was one of those like Zay Flowers stopped and then started again,
I
and
know,
Lamar threw it
yeah,
where he was standing, and he was running a drag the entire time.
I thought that too when I first saw it. I was like, "Why? What did Zay just do?" um, especially from a fantasy standpoint, because I have a lot of shares of Zay Flowers, but and he still had double digits, but at the same time, I was like, that would have been the icing on the cake. But then you look back and it's like, oh, Lamar overthrew or threw to the wrong direction. And that drove me crazy. The first missed touchdown to Likely, uh, like if the ball had gone out sooner, probably would have scored, but it was still like, defender was there. And then the Zay Flowers one was like inexcusable. And then the last non-touchdown was just like a miracle grab. Isaiah Likely, I thought he was like done for the season. I mean, it really when
We
he
were
when you
we were
rewatch,
texting he's dead.
I
We're like, he's
know
dead.
when you rewatch that and how hard he hit the ground with his arm out, it's like
Yeah, broken
shoulder,
arm, broken
forearm, broken
collarbones.
arm,
Yeah,
yeah.
something.
And then he's just in next play, and then if he was born with smaller feet, the game's tied.
If he wears
So
white cleats, maybe they miss it. Maybe they call him
yeah,
in.
That's a good point. I really feel like most players should just wear white cleats.
Always wear white cleats if
Yeah,
you're a receiver.
yeah. But yeah, the Lamar fantasy wise could be quarterback one on the week at 27 points. We'll find out. But Justice Hill is low percentage rostered. Isaiah Likely is low percentage rostered. Um, these are probably guys you're going to chase aggressively on the waiver wire, but I'm just happy because the end of the offseason, I started drafting a lot of Isaiah Likely on underdog. So, but
That's
once
good.
again, it's week one. It's week one. Don't put all your eggs into one basket. We'll go over the Chiefs players when we get a pause here again. Is it safe to drop Christian Watson? I don't think I would. I don't think I'm going to drop Watson or Reed. And I'm not going to like sell Jacobs. Let's just sit back and see what happens. But even with poor quarterback play, like at least Jaden Reed's going to still have value. The guy I worry the most about is Romeo Dobbs because his chemistry with Jordan Love is like, I mean, that's part of the main reason why Dobbs has any relevancy. So I'm not going to drop Watson yet, or I probably wouldn't drop him regardless. Still scored a touchdown, but yeah, I hate things like that. I hate injuries. Do I start Burrow or Stafford? I would start Stafford. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm a little worried about Burrow as we touched on earlier, but I mean, if Chase plays, then sure, you can still start Burrow. I just really like this Lions Rams matchup. Bad secondaries, points, Goff, Stafford Bowl, part two, Sunday night, week one. Great wide receivers, Sam Laporta, great running backs. I mean, I think Stafford and Goff are both potential must starts this week. So I really went into this week all over Joe Burrow if you drafted him, but I'm just
You're off. You're
the
off
pitch.
Burrow. You're off the Burrow train. It sounds like.
I'm not completely off, but we need at least Chase or Higgins out there for me to feel 100%. It's not like this Patriots defense was awful last year,
I don't know if Gerard Mayo can coach though. I do not
Yeah,
know.
I like
Patriot, like some top level Patriot guys are like, I think this is going to be a disaster. Like they are not feeling
sure.
the Gerard Mayo.
Yeah, I am. I'm still okay
Watch,
with
yeah, watch.
expecting the Patriots to be bad this weekend.
Yeah,
But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I feel weird about Burrow right now because I just feel like if you don't have Chase or Higgins or both out there, um, they're going to rely on the run game a lot. Like you said, guys like Chase Brown. I mean, they can still get it done for sure. I just fantasy wise, I'm like the ceiling has to be lowered. Thoughts on Devonte Adams? He's probably fine.
we'll see. We got to see how bad the quarterback play is. That's it.
Yeah, we got to see Minshew,
Hold on to him
Mania.
though, because he might get traded to a team with an awesome quarterback. So Devontae could go from like really bad situation the first 5-6 weeks of the season to like the best situation towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm still okay with Adams. You know, was fine last year when Jimmy G or anyone else was throwing to him. So still top 10 in fantasy. Ceiling's probably lowered, but I think Adams here in week one against the Chargers secondary, you drafted him too high. You're still starting him. Run CMC, what's going on? Still feel strong for Seattle's defense. Saints and Falcons are available.
Love the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Love the Seahawks defense.
Yeah. I like the Hawks a lot. I like the Saints. I like the Falcons. If you're already rolling with the Hawks, the one thing I try not to do at the end of the week is really overthink kickers and defenses. Just kind of stick with your early gut feeling. Because a lot of the times you're going to end up swapping them and then regretting it. But I do like all three options here. But yeah, let's roll with Seattle against Bo Nix in his first NFL start. Cats, what's going on, man? Haven't popped in a while. This is, it's probably Katz's fault for not tuning in, and that's why Jordan Love got hurt.
He's rooting
Um,
for Jordan Love to get hurt,
yeah,
Mr. Lions fan over there. They just
yeah, it's
won the
probably,
division.
Katz. If you continue to miss streams, more guys like T Higgins are going to have hamstring injuries. So just remember that it's your, uh, duty to watch the streams in terms of the fantasy football community. So
CMC might, that calf could
yeah,
flare up any second.
yeah. As long as it's not Trevor Lawrence, we'll be okay. Right? I should have drafted Barkley in the first round in leagues. I knew I messed up.
It
Told you
depends.
so. But hey,
It
I
depends
never
where you drafted. Come on, man. It depends where you drafted. If you drafted in the top 5, you can't draft Barkley.
I never say told you so after week 1, but because I was also, super high on Henry. We just have such a small sample size. Um, but yeah, I mean, Barkley, a guy who I had right up there with Gibbs, so I mean, it's one game, guys.
Yeah,
I
remember the
mean,
Packers defense is bad. Like, let's chill
yeah,
out a little bit.
it's one game, but Barkley is going to be great this year. I still stand by. Emil says, hit the like button, guys.
Hit the like button.
To drop Downs, McLaughlin, Dowdle. You're not dropping Andre, dude. No more with Chasen. This is your time to shine. That's been your boy all off season. Or Fryermuth to stream a defense. I'm starting Taysom. Downs is out week 1, so sometimes you know people will just not pay attention. Like he's not even going to show up on the waivers unless you go through and toggle to where it shows injured players. At least most settings are that way. So I think you can drop Downs if you're comfortable knowing you might not get him back, or at least you can fight for him. It's either him or McLaughlin for me. I would keep the other 3. I mean, the thing that also kind of stood out from today for the Steelers outside of Russell and Danger is the Steelers extended Fryermuth for 4 years. So they're good price for their wide receiver too, with that wide receiver market lighting up. But yeah, Fryermuth's going to be involved. I think he's worth holding on to. Dowdle and Andre Zavis. I'm never going to say his name right, but they're definitely worth holding on to as well. So could watch every second of every stream, and Higgins would still pop a hammy. I mean, yeah, that's probably
No. Come on.
yeah. Thanks. Going with the Seahawks. Roll with the Hawks. Had the 7th pick in my Yahoo league. Yeah, I mean, no one was really drafting Barkley that early. Like I was pushing for Barkley at the end of the first, definitely beginning of the second. And there was a point in the offseason where Barkley was going at the end of the second and underdog drafts. Sometimes it lasts till the middle of the third. But I'm talking. I mean, I've been drafting since April or whatever. So
Easily April, maybe March.
yeah, yeah. And I told you guys Barkley is going to move. Barkley and Henry are my 2 guys. I always have candidates every year. Like those are the 2 guys who, and Pacheco is my other guy, right? So all those guys moved up in ADP. So yeah, it's way too early to start saying, oh, I should have drafted this guy here and this guy there. And even when it's week 15, try not to do that. I mean, it's it is what it is. It's part of the game, right? I have A-Chain. I grab Jalen Wright as a handcuff. Should I keep him? Yeah, definitely. Unless you're just in a position where you need a starting player. Jalen Wright's going to be a great handcuff. He is still rostered in a low amount of leagues right now. So still like Jalen Wright. Absolutely okay with picking him up.
I picked him up this week. On waivers, Jalen Wright.
Yeah, I especially if you own A-Chain, I think you can go ahead and roll with him. But I mean, roll with picking up Jalen Wright. So, but yeah, I mean, what a tough night or 2 for fantasy. We get Higgins popping up. We get Russell Wilson hurt, and now Jordan Love hurt. T. Higgins' hamstrings are like those one dark green crappy floss toothpicks. I don't think I've had those. One wrong tooth and it snaps. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, even if Higgins pops up as
can't be
He's
out on
not even
Higgins.
injured.
Yeah, you can't even be like that. Come on. We have to
Yeah,
believe in T. Higgins. Come on. We can't have this
I know.
negativity, cats.
Still got to consider I may be injured. Yeah, I'm watching the replay of the Jordan Love injury.
How's it look? Bad? Not good?
Oh, it does look bad. Oh, you really pay attention to the knee. It
Yeah.
spooky,
Let me look at it. I'll find it.
spooky. We'll find out. All right, guys. Quick stream tonight. Just wanted to hop on post Friday night football action here. It's a bit late here. Uh, we'll have some content ready for you guys tomorrow. Got you guys locked and loaded. All for week one. Content every single day. We'll be running it back next week as well. Content every single day.
It's bad.
Oh, you're rewatching it?
It
Yeah, you
like his
really,
knee pops out. You see it like pop out.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, it's bad. It's bad. It might be a dislocated knee.
Really pay attention to the knee. That's
Here, can we pull it up? I can pull it up on my stream over here. This
it,
is great. This is bad.
yeah, it's not
Ideal.
good. But you never know. Sometimes you see a really bad replay and it's not as bad as we think, but yeah, I hate this for fantasy, and it makes everything, not to sound, I don't know the word, but it makes everything way more annoying. Like it just this is just part of the game. Like it just we're constantly going, but um yeah, we'll start to wrap up here. If you guys have any final questions, get them in here. Like I said, all kinds of content out for you guys this week, and we'll be running it back every single week. Yeah, Godwin, a great replacement. This is why I tell you guys too. I was telling you guys throughout the week, like guys, like, oh, I have these 2 or 3 wide receivers on my bench, and it's a double flex PPR league. Who do I trade? I'm like, don't trade anyone.
Yeah.
Things are going
Wait.
to be very different in 6
Just,
weeks. Like,
just wait. Just
you
chill.
know, yeah. And yeah, I depth at wide receiver is so important. And God, I'm telling you right now, quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield at home against Washington this week, Matthew Stafford going against the Lions. You're going to see Kirk Cousins, another guy I really like at home this week. You're going to see less quarterbacks on the waiver wire, especially after this Jordan Love issue. Who are the quarterbacks behind Love? Malik Willis.
I can't believe, like, oh my, he couldn't throw the football tonight. Come on. Why did they trade for it? That was a weird trade when it happened.
They were not, I forget their QB2's name. I remember watching him in the preseason
Pruitt,
randomly.
the rookie, right?
Yeah.
Cal Pruitt out
They
of
were
Tulane.
not confident in him. I don't know why Malik Willis would be the answer, but have a good night, Aiden. Doesn't look like anything tore though. Might just be sprain. Yeah, the worst thing I think we can do is speculate because I'll tell you one thing. At least me, I couldn't tell you. I'm not a doctor, but we'll just have to wait and see the injury report and hope for the best. Because even if it's 6 weeks, like that's still better than a full season for fantasy. I don't even know who the third QB is on the Packers, who they went into the season with on their final roster. It was.
It's got to be Pruitt. It's like Willis and the rookie Pruitt, I would bet. If Willis came out for those passes, it's got to be a rookie. It's not a veteran because Willis is bad.
Have Brooks ETN change? I don't know what changes. Javonte Pittman, Amin, Shakir, Watson, McConkey. Should I trade for a wide receiver? As long as you. Oh, is it Chase? Chase, Pittman, Amon Ra. No, I think you're okay. I mean, the problem is you're going to have to suffer value somewhere else. You're really thin at running back, and I don't know how much value you have in terms of those bench wide receivers. Like, you can't trade Amon Ra, Pittman, or Chase, if that is Chase. And like Watson's perceived value just went down. Oh, it's A-Chain. Well, even then, you don't have great depth at running back because Brooks is. I just sit for now.
They do not have a third string quarterback, it looks like.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They didn't go into the season with the third on their final
Yeah, they carry
roster.
2, and Sean Clifford is on their practice squad. So they let
Yeah,
Michael
because I think
Pruitt go.
they cut the other guy or put
Yeah,
him on the yeah.
he didn't even make the practice squad. Somebody must have
Yeah,
picked him
that's
up.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. Things are bad. Here comes
They're
what
gonna
you
have
call it?
to
Here comes Tom Brady. Tom Brady's coming in.
yeah, I'm actually before we end here, free agent quarterbacks.
Philip
Who
Rivers.
is out there? I'm genuinely curious. I got it pulled up here. Ryan Tannehill,
Mm. Brian
M-
Hoyer.
Mike White, Brian Hoyer,
Russell Wilson. They
Blaine.
could trade for Russell Wilson.
I guess you're right. Because that dude, this is literally the whole list. Tannehill, Mike White, Brian Hoyer, Blaine Gabbert, AJ McCarron, Matt Barkley, Trevor Simeon, Nathan Peterman, Logan Woodside, and Ben DiNucci.
Ooh,
Um,
the Nuge.
the Nuge.
That's not the worst guy to put in there.
I feel like they're gonna sign Mike White. That's my prediction.
Does anybody have whoever's anybody got experience with Green Bay or something
Yeah,
like
like
that?
they're gonna have to sign someone. And I mean, is Tannehill or Mike White? Like I
Yeah.
feel like Tannehill will demand more money. And they just paid Jordan Love a bazillion dollars.
AJ
Uh,
McCarron. There you
maybe.
go. Brian Hoyer. I don't know. Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah. I feel like Mike White to the return of Mike White. I don't know. I don't know. Call Cam Newton. Nah,
Oh, stop. Stop.
please. No. Yeah, dude, Mike White's our guest, boys. We're on the Mike White. Go pick up Mike White in your dynasty
I'm
leagues in
going
your
with
super
Trevor Simeon, sleeper. Sleeper.
maybe. There's no way Tom Brady is coming out of retirement.
Yeah,
Let's
I know Brady is coming out of retirement if it's week 13 and it's a Super Bowl team. The Packers are not a Super Bowl team, especially at the offensive line. Like if Jared Goff goes down, Tom Brady gets a call, he could easily be the Lions quarterback for the last 6 weeks.
tough. Kurt, he doesn't want to play football anymore. He's making 6 figures doing
Yeah,
YouTube and
yeah,
Sleeper.
playing Madden over here.
Yeah. I will say, I've been a Kurt, can't say his name, fan for a really long time. I remember when his YouTube channel was like not
Big.
Madden, and like just a super small channel, and he was just on Tom Grossi's show, and That's Good Sports as a guest. So kudos to him for absolutely blowing up. And if you see this, like, just like
Yeah,
sign us or something.
yeah, give us some love, bro. Because he was
Yeah.
it does show like his show is like perfect for like the average folk. Like he was a terrible quarterback. He was bad. He's like not a guy. And his knowledge of football exceeds like pretty much every person who watches football
Sure.
to the exponential degree. It's a good reality check for some of them guys out there on the couch.
Yeah. You think Brock Bowers has the potential to finish the top 6 to 8? Nah, man.
Maybe 8. Yeah, I
Probably
can see 8. 8. Yeah, I can see 8.
8 is fair. If they give him enough of that work towards the goal line. But you just got to think. I mean, you got Kelsey, Laporta, Andrews.
I'm not on
some people,
Andrews
I
and I'm
mean,
not on Kelsey. Like Kelsey and Andrews questionable right now. One guy gets hurt.
you got
Laporta.
Isaiah Likely, Sam Laporta, Trey
No,
McBride.
Isaiah Likely's gonna die again. Like his collarbone. Like I'm worried about that. We got Laporta, we got Trey McBride, and we got Kittle. That's about as reliable as I can go right now. Yeah, Kincaid maybe. I don't know. I gotta see. Do we try?
Ingram definitely up there.
Jacksonville. We don't know. We hope we're on the Jacksonville train again. I'm never investing in Pitts ever. Pitts might have a great season. I'm not investing in him. I don't know.
Njoku.
No, definitely not Njoku with Deshaun Watson. If Joe Flacco is the quarterback, absolutely. Deshaun Watson, no shot. I think Deshaun is washed. He's cooked.
Taysom Hill.
No, stop. We're deleting the channel if Taysom Hill leads the league in tight ends, okay? Stop.
Believe it or not, Hill was the tight end 7 in standard last year.
This is why fantasy
Tight
is
end
stupid.
12 in
Yeah,
PPR.
did he play quarterback for a game or something last year? I can't even remember. Did probably he ran a
Yeah,
couple tight. Yeah,
he had a double-digit stretch 4 weeks in a row, 6 through 9. Then 2 more double-digit performances, and
I
then a
hate
ton of like
I hate the
awful
Saints
performances.
just so much, so much. I hate the
I
Saints.
do recall you not liking the Saints.
God, so stupid.
So yeah, I guess
Eight's
Bowers
doable. Bowers
potential
eight
is
doable,
doable.
doable.
You think I should drop him for likely? No, you
No,
spent too much draft capital, but you got to drop someone else. Got to drop someone else.
definitely have a bad quarterback or running back or wide receiver on that team.
Yeah. All right. I think I tried to end the stream like 15 minutes ago.
Fine. We're at an hour, or it's okay.
Yeah. No Taysom Hill slander.
Yeah, slander. He's the most overrated player ever. He doesn't do anything. He has he shows up in like one game or 2 games. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't have a position. It really makes me mad. Play football.
I do kind of like him against the Panthers this week.
He's
If you
also
need to
how
go
old is
deep.
Taysom Hill? Like 50 years old? 60? He's
Uh,
old. He's super old. Because he's a
I will
BYU
tell
guy.
you. He's 34.
He's like, that's ancient. Oh my God.
34.
Put him at quarterback. Just play him quarterback.
Elias has Josh Allen, says he can drop Goff. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, I'm not discrediting Goff. I think he's gonna have a great week 1, but
Ooh, try and
yeah,
trade
you
Goff.
got
Could you try and trade Goff? You have to also lose. Like, you're not getting Isaiah Likely if you don't lose this week. He's going to be a top waiver claim.
yeah, if you're in a free agent bidding league, like people are gonna drop like 70. It depends on their tight end 1, but people are gonna drop 50, 60, 70% of their fab this week for sure.
Which you should if you
Um,
need a tight end.
yeah. Like the best things I've seen are people who own Andrews, like
This
trying
is
to trade for Likely. I mean,
I did not no Andrew shares this year.
I was really low on Andrews too,
I feel we
but I
felt
just also those top tier tight ends I don't draft. Like I'm a Ingram Ferguson
I
guy
drafted
for the most part.
one top tier tight end consistently. It was McBride. I think McBride is the only
Yeah,
top tier tight end I consistently drafted in the real leagues. I had Laporta a ton in the mocks because he would fall, but
yeah,
consistently in my actual leagues I'm stuck in. McBride was the only high tight end. I have a lot of Ferguson. We have a lot of Ferguson. I have a couple Ingram shares. I have a Luke Musgrave share in my guillotine league because it's 16 teams.
yeah. I talked about him. I mean, he had the 2 targets, but then we saw Tucker Craft actually. I mean, 3 targets. Like, I'm very concerned about those Musgrave
I'm I'm
shares on like
I'm
underdog.
fine though because that was like I think my Musgrave share is in my guillotine league and I had Saquon. I had AJ Brown in that league and AJ Brown had a very nice night, so I'm not going to get probably cut this week and I can pick up a new tight
Yeah,
end.
tough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back tomorrow night. Tomorrow night will be a much longer stream. I'm just planning on like eating dinner, going to the gym tomorrow night, being super hyped up, and then streaming for like, yeah,
6
like
hours from
as long as I can go, I will stream tomorrow night, and
from
then I'll be
10
up Sunday morning,
10 to
uh,
10 to
10
2 and
hour. Yeah,
then we're gonna kick off at 8 a.m. on Sunday
yeah.
morning.
I have done it before. Don't tempt me. So,
Will not tempt you with a good time.
yeah, we'll have content coming out Sunday as well, but I will be on Sunday morning before kickoff, and so anything you guys need, don't panic yet. We got plenty of time to set those week 1 lineups. Have 2 videos coming out for you guys tomorrow, and we'll get you guys ready. Week 1 already here, but going to continue to be here through Sunday and Monday. If you want, I know you want to end, but how high do you think Kincaid can finish top 5 if the targets truly all go to him? Hit the like. Oh, you'll be stuck with the Packers D for the rest of the season. Thank you for that, Ghost Hunter. With love in the coffin, would you rather pick up Stafford, Watson, T-Law, Tua, or Cousins? Tua, Stafford,
T-Law in that order.
Yeah. I like Tua or Stafford week 1. It's really those 2 guys for me, but then T-Law, Cousins, fine.
T-Law is good long term, I think, for the season if we're in on the Jags. But Tua should have.
I'm really okay with Tua here. I think he should be the most sought after player. But you have lots of good options if these are the guys in your league, so don't panic. So yeah, but Watson, not the guy for me here. All right, guys, hit the like. Check out all the videos. We've got everything you need for week 1 live on the channel. And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Everyone pray for Jordan Love. And with that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, Yazadier on the catch. And peace.